So I'm going to work on a watercolor. What I like to do is I like to start with some black ink, and I usually like to use the brush tip first. So, I mean, you can start with pencil, or you can start with an ink pen, which either one really works fine. I personally switch between the two, but I also like to use a brush tip, if you can see that. And I like to use fluid strokes. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to make today. I'm just kind of wing it. Ooh, look at that shakiness. See what we can do with this. Sometimes just making lines can make things different. So, let's see. Where to go from here? Well, when I make swirls, I like to make them so they kind of make a heart shape. So, based on this first swirl, we've kind of got a squiggly line going here. So I'm almost kind of vibing with good and evil, you know? So maybe we can do, when I do swirls, I kind of, like if I have one going this way, I'll have one go the other way off of the same branch. And I'll kind of keep doing that until it kind of makes like a viney look, you know? So we got the kind of squiggly pattern going here. So make that a little chaotic looking. Add some more squiggles. Ugly, ugly evil. Just keep doing this. And maybe we'll do one right on the inside. Like the evil's trying to take over the good, you know? But then, so we got the main big swirls here. What you do after that is, you see how we were kind of doing the big swirl, and then we do like a smaller swirl going the opposite direction. You kind of just keep doing the opposite swirl until it's a little bit small. So like for this side, for instance, you want to make this side nice and pretty because that's supposed to represent good, right? See? Get that one nice and smooth. And then, I'm going to put one right over here. This one doesn't have as much space, so it's almost like the evil really is taking over. But something we all know is that evil never wins, right guys? So what you can do, see how I've kind of got the little swirls going here? You kind of make it smaller and smaller until you feel like you got it right. And the tightness of the swirl also gives it a different look. So see how like this one here is a bit looser and bigger, but this one is a little bit more tight and intense. It kind of just adds like a different density. So like if you were carving something, you would want to, if you wanted to make a soft swirl, you would do these wider ranges because it just kind of gives a round appearance, you know? But then if you do, say, one of these tighter ones, that just feels more like it has an edge as it goes through. Does that make sense? And whenever I'm doing art, I usually just kind of go based off of appearance. So whatever I think looks good is typically how I do my art, if that makes sense. Okay, so good versus evil here, right? Well, everybody wants good to win. So what we're going to do is good triumphs over evil. Oh, and I use the brush a lot because I didn't do a very good job with it on this first one, but if you use the brush, it can give you the skinny part, like this part, but it can also give you a wider side like that. Kind of like if you took a ribbon and you kind of showed the different angles as you turn it into a circle, you know? Anyway, back to the good versus evil thing. Sorry, my phone's going off. Back to the whole good versus evil thing. We're going to have... You got to think about it because, yes, there's a lot of evil in the world. There's a lot of bad stuff. But something that you got to remember is there's a lot of good in the world, too. You know? So let's try and get some good creeping in to the bat over here. And something about vines is it's not just straightforward, like there's a circle here, there's a circle here, there's a circle here. And it doesn't just go linear. It's kind of like a leaf. It kind of just branches out like a tree, you know? So while yes, we're going this way, you can get as tiny as you feel comfortable too. But you also got to remember to branch out. So see, this one's kind of going in a different direction because this one was looping back that way. See? So let's get some good branching off here. We also kind of want to backtrack a little bit. I've been working with these spirals since I was in high school. And that's been quite a while. So see, we got a good branch going off here. Now let's see. We want to do a little bit more over on this side too. So let's get one swirl right there. Feel free to do this too if you want. I'm doing this on special watercolor canvas. So, because I plan on doing watercolor with this after I've finished the inking process, which in my experience the ink doesn't run when you do the watercolor, which is really nice. But these watercolor pages come in a notebook, so you can see here that there is a lot of different ones. But you can get watercolor notebooks and it will have a whole bunch of different sheets that are very useful instead of having to buy the individual canvas boards, you know. And personally, I like it better. I'm going to put another one right there. all have to go the same way. They can go different directions. You can make them as big or as small as you want. Personally, I think it looks much more elegant, I guess, to do smaller and smaller ones. Oh, I went the wrong way. That's okay, I can fix that by going the other way. Ta-da! So yeah, you can go really whichever direction you want to go. I can keep them going right like that. But see, there's not a whole lot of space in that area, and I don't want to get too close to the evil swirl, so I'm not going to continue much with that one. But I'm going to go over here. I'm doing this pretty early in the morning right now, so that's why it's so quiet. My family is asleep. I think it's like 2 in the morning right now. I've heard that a lot of creativity comes from early in the morning, so if you like wake up at like those times where you wake up at like 5 or something in the morning randomly, like, why am I awake right now? I want to be asleep. Well, I heard that that is when your creativity is coming out. Like, your brain is saying, hey, you need to go and do something creative right now. So even if you're tired, it's good to get some of that, get that creativity out. I mean, there's no other real words for it. Your brain is trying to tell you, hey, you got a good idea, you need to get this out, like right this second. Which might not be very fun, especially if you're not really a morning person and you just wake up in the middle of the night. But, I mean, wouldn't it be a small price to pay for, I don't know, getting your creativity out there, getting your frustrations, which, that's another thing, is art can really be a great outlet, and I know a lot of people already know this, or a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know about that, but it really is a good outlet. It might sound stereotypical, but I mean, I've gone through many bouts of depression. I still go through depression now. But it's just a good way to get your emotions out, you know? And while, yes, there is I lost my train of thought with that. Long story short, art is a great outlet, and it leads to a lot of well-known art. I mean, everybody knows about Van Gogh and whatnot. And a lot of other famous people. I mean, rest in peace, Robin Williams. He was a great actor, comedian. He made everybody laugh. That, I think, also is an art. Just having, I think if you have a talent that you are really good at, or that you just enjoy, that, anything, is art. The art of acting, the art of cooking, metal shop, wood shop, pottery. Yes, those are all general arts, but what about someone who loves to build things, or what about someone who takes care of a family or has a passion for taking care of people or cleaning even? Who's to say that's not art, right? Art is about expressing yourself, expressing your emotion. And while, yes, there's the fine arts like painting, pottery, or even music and whatnot, but art, I think, is whatever feels good, you know? That one career you wanted since you were a kid. The art of how even being a doctor could be considered art. And it takes a lot of passion to do stuff like that. I mean, I can't ever see myself being a doctor. So I admire those who can. Just like how if you're watching a movie, you can admire the cinematography. Oh, alright, cinematography. The camera work, the sound work, the audio, the ambiance. All of that. I mean, all of it is considered art, right? At least that's what I think. Okay. Sorry for my little rant there. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not forcing anything on anybody. I'm just saying that I think art comes in many more forms than a lot of people realize. If that makes sense. So, other than that tangent I went on, I'm just kind of fine working some of the stuff on the good side of the drawing. Well, you probably can't see that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just kind of all over the place, aren't I? But, there is a lot to do. And I mean, I just kind of do a lot of swirls until I think I am about ready. Watercolor. But of course, I'm also forgetting something, which I still got lots to do before I can do it, but I'm forgetting that we have a bad side here. Definitely forgetting that. We have an evil side over here. Forgive my cheesy laugh. Okay. Sorry for my sound effects, by the way. Make a lot of weird sounds. But, yeah, I think art is very essential, not just culture-wise, I just think in general. Is that something I wasn't going to do? Anyway, I mean, it's always been a huge part of culture and history, right? I mean, you got the Mona Lisa, you've got Starry Night, and countless others. I mean, I don't even know all of the different art that's out there. Probably should. I mean, it's history, but it's just so interesting. often wonder, like, who, I mean, who decided they were gonna, I don't know, how did the first, how did the first paint get made, or whatnot? I mean, I know there's caveman paintings and stuff, or not painting, but like drawings and carvings and stuff like that. But like, who like thought, hey, I'm gonna make a picture on this rock, or you know what I mean? Like, what gave humans or whatever the idea, go carve on this rock and it's gonna look like this? Or I want to record something, so I'm gonna stick something, why don't I smear some berries on a wall or something? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like that. Just kind of out of nowhere. Just, I'm gonna do this. Oh, hey, I like the color off of that. It's weird. Okay. So we got our good side. Now we need our bad. What should we do with the bad side? Well, the good's trying to overpower the bad, right? So why don't we... Oh, squiggliness down here. Ooh, I know. So, it's a battle. It's good versus bad, and then the good is slowly fighting back the evil. So, like, if you think about most video games, what is something that a lot of video games do? They have bad guys, when you defeat them, puff into smoke, right? So what if we did a bunch of little squiggly dudes that are kind of falling off? See here? So like, and then, ooh, and boo, you see what I mean? They're kind of little squiggly things that are coming off of it. We can kind of do the same thing that we were doing over here. And just, oh, that guy's kind of falling apart there. But we can just kind of make them a little bit small, but they're falling off, right? So we gotta kind of, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do about watercolor yet. We'll get there when we get there. And then a woo! Like I said, I'm going to have a lot of weird noises for you guys. Okay. I'm going to put one right there. Then I'm going to put one right there. Really, that was really weird. Then maybe one right there. One right there. from philosophy talk to a bunch of random sounds. Okay. Kind of gives me a Pokemon vibe, you know, like a Lavender Town. Okay. I think we're done with this. We don't need this anymore. So now you can either put this away, and we'll be done with it for now, or you can initial. Because, like everybody, you have to sign your artwork, right? I think I'm going to put mine right between the good and evil, because I'm kind of the same. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, you're going to hear some random sounds because I've got my kitty here next to me. Okay. So what I have is I have these watercolor pens here. And I have a large assortment. So the question is, how are we going to do this? I usually go hot and cold colors. So what we could do is red and blue. That's usually good and bad, right? See, that's where I'm conflicted. Because sometimes I like to think that the warm colors are the happy colors, like, woo, happy, so full of energy. But then, and then the cooler colors being the sad colors, like depression and whatnot. And that's kind of how I think it. But considering the whole good and bad thing, usually red stands for evil, bad. He's seen red, he's going angry. And then blue is the just and mighty. So maybe we can, maybe we will go with the red. That sounds good. Red and, ooh, actually, yeah. Well, now it's got me thinking, though. We were talking about these being like lines, right? So what if we made the good stuff green instead? I know, typically the lime green is like evil too. I mean, you look at half the Disney stuff and it's like all the villains have that green smoke and stuff. But you know, then I start thinking about like Moana or something, and the green is like the stone, right? Yes, I watch Disney. Dun dun dun! But I think, personally, that was the direction I would go in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a dark green. Dark green do I want? I'm going to go with that one instead. And then I'm going to grab the light green. So dark and light. Never know if the camera's actually seeing this or not. So, dark green, light green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one aside for right now. I'm going to take the dark green, and this might seem a little bit sketchy, literally sketchy at first, but I am going to color around all of these. And it doesn't look like much at first. It kind of even looks like a little bit of crayon, you know? But this just gets the color where you want it. The main thing that gets the color to look a little nicer is the water. So don't even worry. So I'm just going to give it a nice little coat. Gosh, it's going to take a while. Probably speed through this next part. Oh my gosh, this is taking a while. Yeah, this is going to be a while. Okay, so something I'm going to do, since I'm getting into the bigger swirl here, is I'm going to leave a bit of a gap in the middle, so it kind of gives a bit of a highlight, you know? So that I can put a little bit of the light green into it. The lighting probably isn't very good for this, but it doesn't really matter, because see how I've got like some darker spots over here and whatnot, and then some lighter spots in here. It doesn't matter. I mean, all the color is going to go into the same little pool of water that you're going to have. This is just to get like the main areas where you want the color. I know I've probably already said that, but just in case you were wondering, I guess. Then, what's really cool, I mean, I don't know, a lot of people probably have seen watercolor before, they probably used watercolor before. I have only used watercolor more recently in the last couple years. And I could never figure it out when I was younger. But my family got me these pens for Christmas one year, and I loved them. Loved them. But I just could never figure out how to get the watercolor to work. So I just kind of was winging it, or I just kind of ignored watercolor for the longest time. I've always thought watercolor was gorgeous, like gorgeous. There's some beautiful artwork, and so many people are so talented with it. But I just couldn't figure it out. So, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, if you don't know how to use watercolor like this, that's fine. Figure out your own way. This is just one way to do it. And some people could be looking at what I'm doing and screaming like, that's not how you use them. And I will just say, hey, let me do it my way. These are my pens, I'm going to do it my way. Because some people might have different ways to do them. And I'm just going to be like, whatever, do you, dude. Alright. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we are getting there. This is going to take a while. I really hope that camera's centered. Can you see it? Am I failing miserably? I'm going to laugh if I get all the way done with this and I wasn't even centered the whole time. That would suck. Even if I do mess up this art video, I will be selling this art. It is going to be for sale somewhere. think in the first video I made, I said, yes, I am an it. No. I am not an it. I am not a they. This is not the pronoun I use. And there go the silly things. No, I am not a it. Not a it. Why do I keep saying it? This is not a Stephen King film. I mean, it's not that I don't support it. I do support it. I have lots of friends who are actually on an LGBTQ. It is nothing to be ashamed of. You do you. You love who you want to love. I know there's a lot of people out there who are very harsh about that sort of thing, which I think is just ridiculous. It's like, it's not your life. Just leave people alone. You see how I did just like one little line here, and then I went to the big thing? So something kind of like that. Of course, you can thicken up this dark line. It kind of depends on how much light you want to be in it. I kind of want these outer parts to be darker, and then these smaller circles to be darker. I keep calling them circles, but they're spirals. I don't know why. Circles, I don't know, do I have less syllables? Circle. Spiral. Spiral? I don't know. I've never been good at grammar, to be honest. This is probably going to be a very long video. But that's fine. Art takes time, you know? Maybe I'll break this up. I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to fill that part in right there. So I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm kind of winging it. This is the winging it hour. If this isn't going to work, I'm going to, if this video is off-centered or something, you have to see how it doesn't set up. Oh gosh, I didn't realize how dark I got that part. This is kind of looking cool just like this. I'm still gonna use the water on it, but I know. How about in the comments below, why don't you guys tell me if you've done watercolor and if you think I'm doing it weird or something. Probably a much faster way to do this. I found by doing this, you get a lot of actual color into it. And I could be doing it right. I don't know. I mean, people do you. If I'm doing it right, yay. If I'm doing it wrong, whatever. I'm just showing you how I do it. And I mean, I haven't had any complaints about my art. Not that this is like the most fantastic thing I've ever done, but maybe I'll show some of my art for you to see. If that is something you would like to see, let me know. as I said in my first video, this is going to be up for grabs. If I am able to sell this, it is going to go. What I mean is the money is going to go towards a charity, which I will also post a receipt probably on the next video, I think, showing that I did donate it. If I sell it, I mean. We'll see. We will see. Oh my gosh. I suppose I have enough ink for all this. Ooh. Oh, you know what? I just got an even better idea. Yep, I think I'm going to do that. Okay. So, I'm thinking I'm going to do something I like to do. It's one of my favorites, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things ever. And I could be using this word out of context. I'm still trying to get. I've never been really good with grammar and English and stuff. I mean, I speak English, but I've never been very good at the class English, you know. But I'm thinking, what if we do a kind of gradient as well? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm still going to do these little thingies here. Some of these little doodads. Some of these little doodads. Oof, this is going to be a long video if I put in all my talking. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll finish with this green. Oh, we might just have to finish this up next time. This might end up being a 2. No? Maybe. Maybe. So, I think this might be a good place to stop. So, thanks so much for watching. And I will see you later. Bye.